Talk about some big changes heading to D.C. this summer.
This summer, starting now, the D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force is going even deeper, even further, to surge even more federal law enforcement resources to this district.
The Trump administration says it is increasing the number of federal officers in the district to drive down crime. And these changes follow the initial federal surge that we saw in D.C. starting last August, which the feds are calling a major success to tamp down on crime. WUSA 9 has a team coverage you can count on during big stories like this. Sarah Robinson is tracking what these changes mean specifically for teens and their parents. But we're going to start with Rafael Sanchez Cruz, who joins me now in the studio for some context on what we've been hearing from the Department of Justice, and really a blind sight here to the mayor of D.C. as all this laid out.
That's right, Les. Today, officials with the Department of Justice announced that they're calling a summer surge to keep residents and tourists safe during the America 250 celebration. So what does this mean? They tell us it means National Guard members and federal agents will be on patrol. Homeland Security says they're doubling their number of agents. We still don't know what that number is. Now, D.C. is no stranger to a federal surge, as you mentioned. Last August, President Donald Trump declared a 30-day crime emergency here in the district. That brought troops to D.C. and led to a spike in immigration arrests. Plus, we saw more cooperation between D.C. police and federal agents.
But our message today is that we're not done. We are not satisfied. We are not content with good. We are coming for perfection. And we won't be done until we reclaim every last inch of ground on anyone seeking to do harm in our nation's capital.
Now, let's be clear. This surge comes as overall crime in D.C. is down 26% compared to last year. That's according to the latest D.C. data. Now, homicides are down 36%. Federal officials today acknowledged this drop in crime, and they touted that in the 281 days of the D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force, they've made nearly 13,000 arrests, Leslie.
So let's talk about this, Rafa, because the mayor had no idea that this was happening today. I'm sure some people are wondering, is this the feds basically saying we're putting you back in your place?
And look, essentially, the mayor has issued an order allowing this cooperation to continue even after the expiration of the president's 30-day emergency here in D.C. So essentially, she's opened the door for this to continue on here in the district. But the question really is how will this be carried out? As you remember, last time around, there was a lot of concerns about the patrolling that was happening. I will say someone's already reached out to me regarding the increase in Homeland Security agents, because if you remember last fall, HSI agents fired at 2 drivers here in D.C. Now, no one was hurt, but those cases have, of course, led to concern from residents and even legislative changes that say that D.C. police needs to release any type of video when these types of incidents happen here in D.C.
Yeah, it's been a very polarizing issue, and you and I know you've covered this extensively. The optics of this are interesting, too. The mayor has typically been there when U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro makes these kinds of announcements. She was not there, and she did not know about it.
Yeah, and it's important to note that they both were together just a couple weeks ago when they were touting this reduction in crime and saying that the only thing that they're seeing an increase in is firearm-related incidents and cases here in D.C., and those are attributed to domestic violence cases. So it is interesting to see them together 2 weeks ago talking about how they're working together, but this time around, this announcement being made with DOJ officials with the mayor's absence. And as our Sarah Robinson's going to tell us, we have more from her, talking about the logistics about how this might be carried out.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, we'll be following this, of course. Rafa, thanks for that perspective. Let's get right